All right, what's going on, everybody? Happy Friday. We're gonna do some ops tonight and maybe a little bit of building as we go, but for the most part, we're gonna be doing some operating. I want to take a train from Allegheny to Paint Creek because I actually haven't run that yet. I've been doing some operating here and there, off camera and during some Patreon live streams and Patreon hangouts and that sort of thing. Wow, looks like it hasn't even gone live yet. So as I've been going through some of these operating sessions, I've been doing a little bit of tweaking and building it on some of the track work, some adjusting and that sort of thing. So we might do a little bit of that tonight, but for the most part, we are going to try to just run some trains for a little bit. I got about 2 hours, I think. And yeah. Let's see, can I do a tour of the route? Yeah, I can do a quick tour. As a matter of fact, this is a good chance, a good opportunity for me to do that. Because we finally recently just updated the Phase 1 section to 2019. There's still a lot of work to do on it, but all of the... Let me lower this music a little bit. All of the trees and billboard assets have been replaced so far, so it's looking a lot better. So I gotta turn down, there's some spots that are kind of laggy, so we're still working through that. So I'm gonna turn down my draw distance just so it's not too jittery for you guys on YouTube. So Allegheny remains pretty much the same. It's just been overhauled with the trees, and it looks so much better with the 3D trees over the billboard trees. So I'll just show you a couple of the main areas that I think look the best. We'll go up here to Shawnee, and we'll take the peek over here because we're not going to operate over here at the moment, but things look a lot better. We've updated a lot of scenery here. I have to give a big thanks to 44 Willies for helping me out, and not really even just helping me out, but kind of just doing all of the updating on Phase 1. So without him, really wouldn't have what I have here right now. So he's added on a couple of baseboards on the back, so the scene is a little bit deeper and you don't see right off the edge of the route like you used to be able to. And he added this nice town down here, so that's looking pretty good. What I really want to show you guys is Junietta, and that probably has had the biggest overhaul, so we're just gonna fly down here. And I'm gonna warn you, it is gonna be a little bit framey. There is still some assets that are causing some lag that we're trying to, remedy. So it's going to be a little framey through here, especially since I'm streaming right now, but we'll see. Let me actually just turn down the draw distance all the way. Oh, it didn't. Why didn't it go down? So yeah, the overhaul of the trees and the shrubs and that sort of thing just looks so much better. 44 Willie's added some background scenes too, which look really great. He's populated this whole town of Junietta, and it looks really outstanding. So I'm gonna try to make my way down there. Just bear with me with the lag. Again, this is extra bad right now because I am live streaming and my computer is now starting to show its age. So I'm probably due for a new rig sometime this year. But as you can see here, Junietta has been totally overhauled. There's a huge town over here, nice downtown scenes, which I really like. There's a couple additional industries that were worked into here. And if we get down, let me try to get to the drone camera, because that's where you can really get some nice angles. Yeah, you can see just how laggy it kind of can be. So I am in surveyor mode, so we're seeing all these triggers and all that kind of stuff, but obviously you won't see any of that in driver mode. It looks just outstanding. So I'll try to stay in one place for a few moments so that it doesn't it stabilizes on YouTube, because I know how YouTube loves to sort of scramble things around. So that's looking pretty good. I think it's this scrapyard. Something in this scrapyard is causing some... So as I get away from the scrapyard, you can see the frames start picking up. So we got this nice big downtown scene here. looking really good. Some abandoned track here and there. I mean, overall, Juniata's feeling a lot more lived in than it did before. So that is probably the biggest update to the Phase 1 section. So as we do some operating tonight, we're going to go from Allegheny towards, we're going to go up to Paint Creek. So that's in the direction that I've been working on. So you'll get to see some scenery that I've been working on off camera that you probably haven't seen yet. Yeah, the detailed track will also drag your frame rate down a bit too, but I don't think that that's the issue in here. All right, let's fly back to, let's go up to Mill Creek really quick because Mill Creek just looks really good too. The 3D trees really make all the difference. And there's still some additional trees and shrubs and stuff like that that need to be replaced. We kind of just did mostly a bulk asset replace. But man, it really does make a world of difference. Going to the drone camera here. And I mean, this really feels like a Pennsylvania coal mining town now. It's just so cool. So yeah, now that I've got the Phase 1 section connected to, I guess we'll call it Phase 2, the section that I've been working on, now I can actually start doing some more operating over the whole route. So that's what I'm kind of beginning to get into at this point. So you guys can probably look forward to seeing more and more live streams like this, where we'll do some operating sessions over the whole route, you know, from time to time. And again, my main goal is really to get like one big session going that is sort of like an endless session. Most of these trees, yes, are RMM trees. That we've also used some of the Profig trees, the new Profig trees. I guess they're new. So those are piecemealed in there as well. I need to make some room on my desk so I can put my rail driver controller up here. Too much crap on my desk. All right, so we'll get started on this operating session. And like I said, I might pause here and there to make some fine-tuned adjustments to the track or some scenery and things like that as I operate. And that's going to be one of the main benefits of doing some of these operating sessions right now while I'm still working on the overall route, because now I can kind of like weed out some stuff. So for example, I was operating the other week down on at the Babcock mine, and I realized that the runaround down here, you guys might not even notice because it's such a minor tweak, but when I was doing some switching down here, I realized that the runaround track was too short. It pretty much, let's see, the siding track came right onto the main runaround right here, and it was just not enough space to get around the coal cars. And then the tail track used to end like right here, I want to say, somewhere in here. So I extended it another, I don't know, like 200-300 feet or something like that out to here. So that just gives you just enough length to pull a full cut of cars out and then shove it back up. So things like that, you know, I'm coming across as I'm operating. So that's sort of the benefit of doing this sort of thing. So anyway, how is everybody doing? I didn't really even kind of peeked at the chat here and there. So it seems like everybody's doing well. Friday night, it's 7:30 here on the East Coast. So what is it, like 4? How did the engine sound? Is that too loud? I don't know if that's too loud. So what is it on the West Coast? It's like 4:30, 5:30, something like that. It's a little early, but all right, so let's get started here. I've already got a train set up because I don't really have any consists on this section of the map at the moment. So we're going to take 2 GP38-2s. I've got a consist set up over here in the distance. We'll couple up to them and we'll just start on heading up to Paint Creek. And I'll try to talk a little bit about what the plans are for the future and other things that I'm working on while I'm at it. And just trying to get my audio in my headphones. There we go. I think that sounds a little bit better. So we'll see also how long it takes before I derail. So overall, oh, I didn't turn the frame rate, or the, I was gonna say overall frame rate seems pretty good. Didn't I turn that down from 6,000? That's crazy. All right, whatever. 6,000 is where I want it, but. So all that like wheel squeak that you guys are hearing, that's all from some of those triggers that Willys had placed. And I love it. Really makes it more immersive. So let's see, we'll speed up through here. I don't think the speed limit should be 10 miles an hour on this runner track. And my hope is that over time we'll have, you know, consists constantly in the yard. We'll have freight cars all over the place and be able to like switch out, you know, some of these, let me just check something here. Yeah, I gotta fix this turnout. You know, be able to throw some cars on the maintenance tracks and that sort of thing. Like, I'm really excited to do that kind of stuff. Would the P&B ever acquire an SD70 Mac? Probably not. I would imagine that it probably would mostly use these, what are these, wide cabs or standard cabs? I don't know what they're called, but these kind of units for the most part. I always wanted it to be an Alco railroad, but there's not enough Alco models out there, so it's probably going to be an EMD railroad for the most part. Let's run up ahead here and get make sure our turnouts are set properly, which they should all be. So I see some. As soon as I couple up here, I'm going to jump back into Surveyor and fix a couple of these things. For some reason, whenever I would merge the section that Willys was working on to the sections that I was working on, I got these issues with the splines like you're seeing here with the roadway, where some of them would just reset or they'd double up, or like track would just sort of double up on itself, and it's just really weird behavior that I can't really explain. So, as I see that sort of stuff, I'm going to try to remedy it. Phase 2 will not work in Tane. We are officially in Trains 2019 and newer. So, I'm no longer supporting Tane. I think we might have a version of the updated Phase 1 section that may work with Tane. I have to check with Willys, but... yeah. We are in 2019 now. No going back. I might swap out this track too, just for some better performance in here, because there's so much track, and then once you start adding freight cars in here, this is probably going to be an absolute lag machine. So I might try to find some like lower, excuse me, I just ate dinner, some lower poly track or whatever, just to sort of help the frame rate a little bit through here. I kind of get the feeling that if my machine is having a little bit of issues with performance, then other people are definitely going to have issues with performance. But at the same time, my game is completely maxed out. Everything is set to ultra, and you know, render distance is at 6,000 meters and so on and so forth. Not everybody plays like that, so you know, it might not be an issue. All right, so let's just pull forward and do like a brake test. Brake test. All right, that's good. Let me switch back into Surveyor real quick. Let me fix those splines. Let's see. Tell me it's okay. I was gonna say, tell me it fixed itself. All right, that looks fine. So yeah, it's weird that there's just like silly little things like that. One of the issues that I've been running into is with the sidewalks duplicating, but only in certain areas. So I don't really understand what that's about. Like, it'll just be two sidewalks like stacked on top of each other. It's really strange. I did want to fix this piece of track over here. Something looked a little funny. I think it's this piece needs to be straightened out. Yeah. So yeah, we'll call this like a build and troubleshoot stream. All right, that looks fine to me, so we can jump back into driver. So up ahead, I haven't done any scenic work outside of Juniata yet, or excuse me, Allegheny. So we're gonna be going through a little bit of Gridland, and then we're gonna be going through, we'll start going through some of the new stuff that I've scenicked. All right, so we'll pull up to that, the light up ahead. Yeah, you can kind of see in the distance that there's nothing has been scenic yet, but it's fine. I have an idea of what I'm going to be building through there. So I think once I get to that spot, it should go pretty quick. I'm not too worried. So for this particular job, we're just going to be switching out the center beams and a couple of box cars, and then up at paint we have some loaded wood chip cars that we're going to switch. We're going to pick up all of the loads while we're there, and we're going to make the run back. And if we have enough time from doing that, then we can do a little bit of switching over in Juniata. A layer issue with the sidewalks. It could be something like that, but what's weird is that I've deleted them, and then like a couple of weeks later, then it shows back up again without me having done anything. So it's kind of weird. Same thing with some of the track. I'll have like junctions will just suddenly have like a straight section of track overlaid on top of them. Like just totally out of nowhere. So we'll pull up to this dwarf signal up here, and then we'll get permission from the dispatcher, aka me, and then we'll pull out. And the other thing that I'm hoping for is, like, once I get like a fully populated route, we're gonna have AI trains running from, you know, yard to yard while we do some of the switching and you know, some of the locals and stuff like that. So I think that'll be a lot of fun. You'll have to pay attention to, you know, if trains are coming or, you know, what siding you're on and that sort of thing. So I think that'll be cool. The rail, well, as soon as I stop, I'll show you what the sound is. It's coming from a trigger on the tracks. So it's these purple things here that are making the screeching sound. I think it is... It's called Trigger Sound Wheel and Squeal. And that QID is QID 2719641000800:1. So that's what that is. It should be on the download station, just called Trigger Sound Wheel Squeal. Very cool, if you ask me. I had no idea it existed, so it's all new to me too. All right, so let's get on the main line. And I say this every time I'm working on the map, or, you know, during a stream operating or whatever. There's a lot of signals that are throughout the route that are not really necessary, but they were there for testing, and just sort of left them there for now. So if you see me run a signal, it's not because I'm not paying attention or something like that. It's just that it's, you know, sort of left over from some testing that we were doing. The countdown to derailment begins now. That's right. Start your stopwatches. That was from outside. So a little laggy looking back that way, but again, it's probably because I'm streaming. And I've got Google Chrome open with like 5 tabs and that sort of thing, so. So like I said, we're gonna be going through a bit of Gridland. The first thing that we're gonna hit is gonna be the paper mill. I might try to like fast forward through this. Yeah, let's get out of the yard and then I'll enable the debug feature. Alright, this will allow me to fast forward a little bit through this. Hopefully we don't derail or crash because of it. does cause some issues with... Let's switch to DC mode. Just to get through some of this plain Jane part. So this will be another town. This will be, you know, the northern part of Allegheny. I kind of have an idea. I think it's in Pittsburgh, where there's the track kind of goes through like a cut. So I sort of want to do something like that with some bridge crossings and that sort of thing to make it interesting. So I'm going to fast forward through all this. I don't want to speed too much. Once we get past the paper mill, we'll get into some scenic territory, and then I'll take it back over to DC mode, or DC mode rather. I did add in this runaround. This is another thing that I need to switch, is the paper mill. I've never done like a full switch job at the paper mill, but as requested by some patrons who have done some switching in here, we needed some kind of a runaround. So at some point in the future, I'm going to have to do some kind of an op session in here and just iron out some of the kinks, because at this point, I'm not really sure how this switch job would be taken care of. Or, you know, is it going to run out of Allegheny and then over to here? Is it a turn? Is it, you know, is a through train? Do they drop off and pick up cuts of cars and take them with them? I don't know. I haven't decided any of that yet. So I got to figure all that out. All right, so I'm back to regular cab controls. If you enable debug features when you hold down shift, that'll allow you to fast forward. But if you're in cab control like I am right now, it will cause some issues with like the brake cylinder pressure building up and doing all sorts of weird stuff. So that's why I switched over to the DCC mode. I'm considering that the paper mill will probably have its own crew, maybe, or I guess that's how it would be, but like its own switching locomotive and that kind of deal. So we're coming into some farm territory here that I've been working on. It's sort of slow going because I get incredibly bored with doing all this farm territory, but it still looks really nice. I mean, I like how it's coming out. It's got a nice small town, countryside feel to it. CM Doc, $5. Happy Friday. It's a full day switching that mill, even with a loco starting there. Yeah, I believe it. There is a lot to do there. So that's going to be its own operating session stream. Get a little bit more of a chase cam going on here. That's nice. Really love this drone camera. It's very cool to play with. Frame rate's nice and buttery through here, that's for sure. Still a lot to do through here. A lot of the scenery is just unfinished. There's not undergrowth underneath all of the trees. I've just sort of been mocking it up quickly. But it's getting there. I mean, the shape of it, I mean, is there. I like the winding hills and the roads and stuff like that, I think. Really add to it. Your game won't let you go into drone cam. I don't know why that would be. Thing is occupied by another train. Well, that is a lie. I think it's just because there's not another signal at the other end of it. This also looks really good up here, the viaduct. Let me get up ahead. Now that I've swapped out all of the billboard trees for the 3D trees, it just looks so much better. I gotta fix all these roads here too and connect them up because I hate when traffic just disappears. But I do like seeing moving traffic on the road, so I'll have to figure out how I'm gonna do that exactly. How many miles of track is there? I think it's like 48 miles from end to end. I honestly can't remember. It's 48 or 50, 52, something like that. So I really like this scene. It's going to be really nice when everything is fully fleshed out. Is part 2 of the P&B going to be totally connected to the first part? Yeah, it is. I guess you probably missed the first half of the stream here. Yeah, it's all connected. It is all connected right now. I really like this scene here that I just put in recently. Ooh, we're gonna miss it. I don't know what I'm doing. Whatever. Yeah, this bridge, and really like that. Yeah, it definitely does have a D&H feel. So again, through here, this is all just sort of mocked up. Started working on it with a little bit of spare time here and there, but my attention span for like mainline scenery is very minimal, so I'll like spam down a bunch of trees or copy and paste a bunch down and then move on to something else because I just get really bored with that. It's all gotta get done, so I have to do it, but it's just like, let me just do a little bit here and there and slowly chip away at it. Because I'd much rather be working on like a major city like Grafton, or, oh, I gotta show you guys Grafton. I've been working on that. Or like Highland, or, you know, any of those major urban hubs. Yeah, I've been doing a little bit of work on Grafton actually the past couple of days. I should go up there. Once we get up to paint, I'll take you guys up to Grafton and just show you what I've been working on, because it might be another minute before I can get a video out, so I don't want to leave you guys hanging with that. Plus, it's nice to sort of tease some of the stuff that I've been working on and you know, get you hyped up for the next video whenever I'll get around to that. By the way, is anybody going to be at the Springfield train show next weekend? Because I will be there on Saturday. I'm heading out Friday. I got a hotel booked, so I will be there all day on Saturday, and I plan on checking out the whole thing as long as possible. I think it's like, what, 9 to 5 or something like that, so I'll try to be there the whole time. One of the other things that I worked on recently was, we can just jump up ahead here too. I started putting some scenery around here. This is Pleasantville Junction. So right here it goes down to Moss Creek and Pleasantville. We've got our MOW section of track here, which I did not a long time ago, but kind of feels like a long time ago. But been doing a lot of scenery work through here, which I really like the look of, like this sort of lowland, swampy, you know, cut through the rocks. Really, really like how this looks. Probably should put some guardrails on the side of this bridge. But yeah, I'm really happy with how this is looking. So yeah, there's that. Does the Pennsylvania Railroad have any ore trains? We actually did add an ore dock in Grafton probably about a year ago now. I did that during a Patreon hangout. And I don't know if I ever really showed it to you guys, but there is an ore dock now. So ore will come off of some ships, get put into some ore cars, and will go to Allegheny steel. That's the idea, at least. Haven't taken that for a spin just yet, but that is the idea. You looked for me last year. Yeah, I wasn't able to go last year because there was a snowstorm that weekend and I had to cancel. I was totally planning on going. I had a hotel room booked last year and everything, but that snowstorm, they were like, oh, we're still gonna have it. I was like, I can't drive out there in that. I'm coming from New Jersey. So I had to cancel. So I'm really looking forward to going this year because it's been a few years since I've been out to Springfield for that show. Yeah, none of the crossings work right now because I haven't built them into the session yet, but hopefully they'll be working by the time it's done. I know 2019's got some sort of funny business. Oh no, not the bus. Some funny business with the TRC crossings that I use, so it is what it is. So now one thing, maybe you guys can help me answer this, is the junction up to Paint Creek, or like a junction like this kind of a junction, and the one that goes down the Paint Creek branch, would these be manually thrown? You know, would the train have to stop and then throw that turnout and then pull through and then the conductor throws it back? Or are these remotely controlled? How does that work? Because I honestly don't know the answer to that. I would like to try to do this somewhat realistically. So let me know. I know CM Doc knows. Flame Rails, $5. Keep it up. Thank you so much, my guy. It's always good to see you here in the comments. You do some fine work yourself, Flame Rails. You keep it up too. And for some reason in this session that I have, the clock doesn't move. Like, it's been stuck at 15:02 for like a year. I gotta add some grades here and there too along the main line, because for the most part, when I originally built or laid out all this track like a gajillion years ago at this point, I just did it all on flat the flat ground with some grades here and there. So there's really not a whole lot of grades on the main line. The sidings are a little bit, or the short, I'm sorry, what am I trying to say here? The branch lines are a little bit different because I built those later on. So there's a little bit more of a, terrain change, but the main line is a little flat. So I'll try to incorporate some stuff here and there. All right, so, well, I already threw the switch up here, so we're just gonna, we'll just take it and I'll throw it behind me on my way out. Or once I pass it, rather. I do have a caboose on this train, so I guess that would make sense that we would pull in, stop, and then throw the switch back. I'm not looking forward to doing all this right-of-way scenery through here. So much grid to fill in, but it might be okay. It might go quick. Might go quicker than I think. I don't think I have any speed limits set through here. So we'll just sort of keep it around 25 maybe. Ah, $10 Flame Rail. Thank you for making the impact you have within this gaming community. Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you, Flame Rails. Appreciate it. I'm just trying to have some fun. Bring you guys along for the ride. I'm particularly happy with some of the scenery up here too, which I also have been doing off camera. I might have hinted at this, but not hinted at it, but I might have showed some of this off at some point. Really, I like these kind of like rural scenes where there's, like a little dirt road and a couple little houses and stuff like that. So like this is a pretty cool angle. I like that. And I think that this has some grades up. Oh yeah, you can see it in the bottom there. Yeah, we're going to be going upgrade a little bit until we get to the end. And if you can get your camera situated properly with the drone camera, like, I don't know, this just looks so cool. If you zoom out a little bit, I don't know, I like that feeling. Like this is like a mood right here, Am I planning on adding more street running? I don't have any plans for any street running. Maybe in the future that might be something interesting to add, but right now, I mean, the track is there. What we've got is what we got track-wise. So that's not going to change too much. But going forward, once this is done, I'm probably going to make some expansions and additions and that sort of thing to the route. So that might include some more industry, which might have some street running or something like that. But that's off in the distant future. I don't have anything specifically in mind. As of right now. I'm just trying to get done what I have at the moment, Did I use a DEM for the terrain? No, this is all handmade terrain. I did all this manually. All right, so like I said, I don't think I've actually done a switching session up here yet, so this is going to be interesting. I don't really know what exactly the flow of it is going to be, so we're going to figure it out together. Luckily, we only have a couple of cars to pick up and a few cars to drop off. Ah, look at that fill. That's nice. I forgot I did some of these little scenery features through here. But yeah, anyway, we're gonna feel this out together. I don't even know how the tracks. Let me just pause this for 1 second. I don't know how the tracks are configured. Yeah, I think I set the. Did I set the track? Yeah. I usually, when I place down the turnout, whatever you call these, the arrows or the the junction pieces or whatever, I try to align them in the direction that should be the default direction. So. I think that that's probably fine. Hey, John Risa, what's up, bud? How you doing, man? Good to see you around. So I'm gonna try. You guys are always yelling at me for using the engine brake to slow down. I'm gonna try using the train brake. I'm easing into it. I'm at 7%. I can guarantee you I'm going to come to a dead stop long before I want to. All right, I'm going to ease off of that. I can almost guarantee you I'm going to just come to a dead stop. What's going on, Sean? There is a timetable available for the P&B. It's dated kind of at this point, but it does exist. I don't know where to link you to get it, though. I'll have it on my website pretty soon. So just stand by on that. I'm also working on an updated like flow diagram of like how the industries all kind of relate to each other. So, and what what's being produced and what's being consumed and that sort of thing, like a flow chart. All right, so yeah, that's good. We're clear of those switches down there. We're clear up here. Perfect. All right, so let's take a look at what we're going to do up here. So I guess the first thing to mention is we already have a couple of engines up here. I haven't, again, done this as an operating scheme yet, but CM Doc, you kind of got me thinking about this, and maybe you even mentioned it. Excuse me, running a turn from here to Moss Creek and just sort of having the pulpwood or whatever you call these, the log loads, sort of just be its own run from this lumber mill up to Moss Creek and back. There's no other place on the route that requires log loads. On the old P&B, there was another log producing industry up near Grafton, which I have left out at this point. So we're only going to have logs going on that one loop right now. That's probably going to change in the future. So right now I'm just envisioning we'll have just these two P&B engines here that'll probably just run back and forth between here and the Moss Creek lumber mill, or not lumber mill, but logging camp down to here. So that will stay put. We're not going to be dealing with that. What we will do is we're going to collect all of these loaded center beam cars, these box cars over here, and we will also collect these, what do you call it, wood chip cars as well, the loaded ones. The other thing that I want to mention with the wood chips, as I was creating this session earlier today before I ate dinner, I kind of am imagining that they would probably use like a winching system and pull the empty cars forward through the loading, whatever you call this thing, this loading bin, and then use a winch to, I don't know, move them around out of the way. I don't know how prototypical that is. Realistically speaking, if it's not, we could always just say that maybe these two engines also do some switching duties around here. But I kind of thought that it would make the most sense to shove all of the empty wood chip hoppers onto this siding here and then use a winch to pull them through to load them as needed. But anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to collect these, and we'll collect the loads here, and then we'll switch out the empties into those locations, and then we'll head back to Allegheny. So let's see if we can make this happen. All right, let's brakes are engaged, right? Yeah, okay. So I guess the first thing we'll do is we'll just pull straight ahead and collect all of the center beams and the box cars. Hopefully I don't lose my voice by the end of this. CM Doc, OG paperwork states that it's a high seniority job. That makes sense. Yeah, I like that. What I'm thinking is once we're done switching here, I'm just going to have the AI take this train back to Allegheny, and I want to hop over to Junietta while that train is running and do... we have a couple of trains that are there that I ran off camera that we can try to sort out a little bit. So I'd like to maybe do that just because I don't really feel like driving the mainline train back. So we'll do that, and then that'll probably bring us right up to my my limit for the night. But so far this has been awesome. It's good to hang out with you guys, especially on a Friday night, do some operating, which I rarely do anymore. You know, it's nice to actually enjoy my hard work. And this, again, also allows me to troubleshoot some stuff and, you know, look at some of these areas that I thought were complete, you know, and realize that I need to come back and add some more details or, you know, fix things here and there. Have I ever played Train Sim Classic? I have not. I've only played Train Sim World, the CSX one. I don't know. I haven't even. I probably played like maybe a total of like 6 hours of the game, if that. But I did really enjoy that. I like the first person aspect of it. I like the idea of like getting out and throwing the switches by hand and stuff. I think that that's a lot of fun. And like uncoupling and coupling the cars manually. I think that that's pretty cool. Yeah, I've never tried to build in it. I've heard that it's not fun or easy. What's going on, Odin? And I just put these cars here because I thought it looked interesting. I don't know if this would make sense in terms of how this industry operates, but, you know, it looks good. That's all that matters to me. The wood chip hoppers that you're seeing they're right off of the download station. They are by username Ekanal, Ekankal, Ekankal. Yeah, they're super nice. We'll get a better look at them in a minute. Oh, one other thing, since there's a couple of you guys that sound like you operate in the real thing, when engines are double-headed like this, at what point does the crew switch from what was the leading engine to what was the trailing engine as it becomes now the leading engine? Like, when does that happen, and how easy is that to do? Do they just walk to the other cab and just turn it on and go? I've always wondered that. I have no idea. No idea how that works. Do the engines have working marker lights? I think they do. It says, but I'm not seeing them light up, so I don't know. Okay, so it's not that difficult to do, I guess. Oh, so they already would have, they wouldn't even be switching from what was the lead cab. They'd already have moved to 257 then. All right, that makes sense. I always thought it was a more involved thing because, I don't know, sometimes I see them running from, you know, the trailing cab, I guess. What program did I use to create the debev animated intro? Are you talking about the little pop-up animation? That I drew in Adobe Illustrator, and then I transferred all of those layers into After Effects, and then I just animated them from there as they popped up. They do it when they reach the end of the line. Yeah, that makes the most sense. Yeah, I didn't think that they did it like anytime they were doing switching maneuvers, but yeah, that makes sense. This is where I derail because I think this last center beam is all the way up against the edge of the track. Let's see if we can really feather this train in here. Yeah, I think we are all the way. We got some breathing room. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead then and switch the engine here. I think that switches things. Nope. What do I gotta do? How do I do this in 19? Let's go this way. There we go. Okay. Good thing I didn't floor it. That would have been the end. No, you gotta go forward. So now I guess the next part of this move, do we stay connected to this consist and then back up and collect these wood chip hoppers with the whole consist, you know, attached? Or I guess it depends on the siding length ahead. I don't really know how much room we have to work with, so that's probably going to be the dictating factor here. What is my favorite train-related movie? I don't... the only one I know of is Unstoppable. What other movies have trains in them? I really don't know. Returning the P&B into CSX in Norfolk Southern Territory in Trains 2022. Yeah, I mean, before I had the P&B paint scheme, I was running CSX. So, totally doable. Trains 2012, I have no idea what to tell you. Get a new machine. I don't know. This track looks like it's floating a little bit. I don't know if that's just a shadow or if it actually is. This looks like it actually is. I'll have to fix that. Yeah, this is the P&B's version of SA31 running here. I didn't even realize that. It just needs a tanker at the end. Oh, you know what? I'm totally not paying attention here. We're about to go. I need to switch the track. There we go. Yeah, Flame, I think you're right. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go up onto one of these sidings here, leave this cut of cars, and then back down, grab the wood chip cars, and then we could probably throw the caboose on the rear of the train here, the outbound train, and then shove all of the empties in. And I think that would probably be pretty good. Got to do a little bit of more scenery work up here. It's a little bland in some places. And I kind of knew that when I was building it. I just I got a little bit bored with the area, so I told myself, I was like, I'll come back and finish it another day, and then I just never did. Yeah, so this seems like an appropriate amount of track up here for what we need to do. I don't think we need any more like longer leads or longer run around or anything like that. It seems pretty solid. Ah, yeah, Odin, you're probably right. That's not a bad idea. I wasn't sure. I've heard that maybe it was for the wooden cabooses that you're not supposed to shove the, you know, with the caboose in between the engine and a cut of cars. But that might have been like some Steam era stuff. I usually just had that in the back of my mind, like, okay, if the caboose is there, you shouldn't use, you know, you shouldn't shove with it. But I guess maybe that makes sense. Maybe it is okay. Steel caboose can be shoved. Okay. How often do I run my model layout? My N-scale one? I try to do it like once a week a little bit just to keep the dust off the rails and keep the engines exercised. I haven't been too good about that, and one of my engines just has an issue, so I'm sending it back right now. I haven't painted them yet. That'll be coming up. I'll be doing that pretty soon. And yeah, it'll be painted in the blue New York Cross Harbor paint scheme. I gotta get some decals made for it. I'm thinking I'm gonna use Circus City to get the decals made up. I've never used them before, and I've never made decals, so it's gonna be it's gonna be an experience, that's for sure. So we'll see how that goes. I'll make sure to keep you guys posted. 44 Willies, $20. Thank you so much, my guy, and thank you for the help. Now that you're here and I can actually say it, thank you for helping update Phase 1. We were looking at it earlier in the stream. I would love to do an N-scale operating session. The problem is that my track is very, very unreliable because I kind of rushed to lay it and I used old track that I really should have just replaced. So my engines are constantly stalling and sputtering and derailing. So it wouldn't make for a very good live stream. I think maybe I'm kind of looking at my N-scale layout just as a test bed for, you know, learning how to, you know, let me make mistakes on this small little layout right now. You know, it's not a big deal for if I mess up something. So that way when I go to do a bigger layout where I have a little bit more space and that sort of thing, I can do it right and not mess anything up or maybe make fewer mistakes. So that's my idea there. So right now, it just probably wouldn't be that great to do a video or a live stream operating on my N-scale layout just because it would just be a lot of stalling and sputtering and derailing and starting and stopping and that kind of thing. So maybe in the future, once I have a little bit more space and I can do a bigger layout, I would definitely love to do that. These wood chip hoppers, I think are just called wood chip. I think they're just wood chip hoppers, but they're by user named Ekankal, Ekankal, I think is how you spell his name. Yeah, relaying track is easy. The thing is, it's not the straight track that's the issue, it's all the turnouts. And because my layout is so small, like 90% of the layout is all just like turnouts. So if I was to replace all the turnouts, I would pretty much just be building a whole new layout. So I really don't want to do that until I'm ready to actually build a new layout. So I'm just living with it for now. I do want to do the New York Cross Harbor in trains, and I actually have a DEM and everything for it. I was going to start it this month, but I'll do it eventually. I decided not to start it this month because I want to focus on the P&B and get that done. But yeah, I will do the New York Cross Harbor in virtual scale as well as in scale. All right, so we got these guys. We'll bring them back. James Hershey, hey, glad you made it. Yeah, Happy New Year to you too as well. So let's see, do I want to pull back into the track that I just pulled out of? Or is that going to mess me up? Do I have enough room to run around? I get out of here. Then, yeah, so I'll pull back into this track and then I can just jump on the back of here and shove all of these empties in. That should be fine. No! Oh, imagine if collisions were, like, legit in this game. What a mess that would be. Is the only version of this route available on JR? Right now, yes. So, Phase 1, it's pretty dated at this point, is available on JR. It's free. You can download it for free. The only thing you have to pay for is essentially the expansion pack, which includes all of the rolling stock and the locomotives and all of that. But the route itself is free. At this point, like I said, it's looking really dated. It doesn't include a lot of what you're seeing tonight. But if you were interested in actually playing the route as it exists right now, that is available to my top tier patrons, my executive tier patrons. They have access to the full route as it exists right now. Each month, at the beginning of the month, I update a download link that executive patrons are allowed to, that have access to, and they can get a copy of it and run it. Exactly as you see it right now. But that's the only two ways to get it. So either through JR or through my Patreon. And the thing with the Patreon is, you don't have to stay subscribed. You know, if you wanted to get a copy of the route in its current form, you could join the executive tier, download it, and then you could cancel your subscription and then come back in a couple of months and download the latest version then. You don't have to, you know, stick with it long term if you don't want to. And that's what's kind of nice about Patreon. But you just have to be forewarned. If you go that route, it is a work in progress. So there are issues with it throughout. Yeah, Flame is right. There is so much that you could do on this route that it could easily glue you to your seat for hours and hours and hours. Like, that's not an exaggeration at all. And it seems, you know, like, all right, the route is what, 50 miles, let's say. That's pretty modest, you know, if you're looking at it from like a real world perspective. But because there's so many industries to switch and there's so many car movements going on and it is self-contained on top of that, you know, you could really jump in and just go to town for a really long time once you get it populated with freight cars and everything. What locomotives are included with the P&B expansion pack? You know, off the top of my head, I can't even remember anymore. It's these engines here, GP38-2s. I think there's like a B36-7, an S1 or an S4. You've got the GP7s, the GP9s, and something else. I can't remember what that other something else is. Plus you got the 100-ton hoppers that are painted in P&B. You've got the caboose that's available. And I'm trying to think of what else was in there. I made that content pack so long ago at this point, I can't even remember everything in it. But that's pretty much the gist of it. So the other thing is that content pack is kind of looking dated at this point as well. And JR has had a lot of really nice new locomotive models come out in the past couple of months, past year. So I'm tempted to retire some of the old locomotive fleet and update it with some of the newer stuff that JR has been making. But I haven't, you know, I haven't committed to anything on that yet or anything along those lines. All right, so let's see. We just have to shove this down. And I'm kind of cheating by just flying down the thing and switching the tracks, but I don't have all night here, you know? Oh yeah, the Alco RS-27s are also included in there. The SD45 is available as its own download on JR. Yes, that is correct. Oops. Why does this keep doing this? Just want to double check my turnouts here. I always like getting this sort of trackside camera angle, but this is how I end up crashing and derailing. It's because I get kind of fixated on watching the train go by and I'm not paying attention to anything else. Gets me into trouble. Will the P&B content pack receive an update or refresh with the eventual release of Stage 2? So what's gonna happen, tentatively, is that the route going forward will be released on my website, and then any payware content packs will still be through JR, but the route will be available on my site. And my hope is that I'll do something along the lines of, and I, don't quote me on this, but what I would like to do is make it available. Whoever buys the route from my website will get an update each year as I, make tweaks to the route or additions or anything like that. So I don't know how it would work exactly, but that's sort of my hope, because once the route is done and released, I'm not going to just be done with it, like I have with other projects. I want to continue to work on it. I have a lot of other ideas and things that I want to do. So I will continue to update things and, add stuff. This is sort of my sandbox, to kind of play around with different stuff. So ideally, that's how I would do it. I'll probably sell it on my website for however much. And then, sort of how I release my Patreon assets at the beginning of each year. All the assets that patrons were exclusive to patrons for the past year become available on my website, but, it's like a year delayed. So I'll probably do something along those lines. I don't know. I haven't given it a whole lot of thought. I'm still a long ways off from having this thing totally done. And we're flying through here, ready to be released to the public again. So, these are just thoughts that are kind of kicking around in my head. Slow down, dude. All right, there we go. Crisis averted. I thought for a minute we were going to go right off the end. See, that's a problem. I get my brain, you guys distract me. My brain gets thinking and talking, and then I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing here. How many cars are we putting in here? I think we'll do 4 and 4. The RS11s are done. I have to put them on my site. I meant to do it when I put up all the Patreon assets from the past year, and I totally forgot. And I keep forgetting. So somebody remind me after this weekend. But those, I haven't decided if those are going to be freeware also, because I did commission them. So I did pay some money to have those made. So I don't know, I might put like a $5 price tag on them or something like that. I don't know, I haven't decided, but yeah, I should get the RS11s up on my site. Or JR maybe, I don't know. I have to see what the deal is with that. Yeah, Ace made the RS11s. So I threw a couple bucks at him to do that. Ace and Audi. The Mets April Fool's thing was just, I didn't really even have a hand in that. That was mostly Sean, who thought it would be funny. I don't even watch sports. Because I had an idea for an April Fool's thing, and I just didn't have the time to execute it. So I was just gonna do nothing. And then by the time I got on my computer, I saw what was going on. I was like, all right, I guess this is it. This is what we're doing. So I think what I'm going to do is put the box cars over on this other track here. Why not? Boxcars were just sort of a late addition that I thought about as I was just throwing the center beams down. Probably had SA-31, which is the freight train that goes past my apartment. Probably had that in the back of my mind. I was like, oh, center beams and boxcars. That makes sense. Yeah, I gotta get I gotta get back over here and finish detailing some of these scenes here, like the background stuff. It's not bad, but it's pretty plain. I mean, even this industry is kind of plain. It's missing a lot of like debris and different details and trucks and vehicles and that sort of thing. But I don't know. It runs pretty well over here. Frame rate's really good, so maybe that's not such a bad thing. So I guess what we'll do is we'll pull forward and we will leave the caboose just adjacent to the grade crossing here, and then we can connect up to our consist, shove it into the caboose, and then we'll be able to pull out. And at that point, I'll take a quick break, and then we'll jump back in and do a couple more things and finish up. Yep, there is indeed a waste industry in Grafton. Those freight cars will originate from interchange in Juniata. Do I read any magazines? Not really. Occasionally I'll pick up a copy of Model Railroader, but I usually don't. Does the trash come from a unit train? Yeah, so that would be a unit train interchanging at Juniata, and then the train would probably go from Juniata to Allegheny to Grafton, and then get switched out, and then turn back around to go back to Juniata and go to the interchange track there. Is there an interchange with Norfolk Southern? You know, it could be with whoever you want it to be. Yeah, I would say, I guess in my mind, it would be Norfolk Southern at Juniata, and I guess CSX or Conrail in Allegheny or Grafton. But I haven't really given that a tremendous amount of thought either. So it's really whatever you guys want to interchange with at that point, as far as I'm concerned. All right, let's see. So we'll grab these. I want to call them sawdust hoppers. Wood chip hoppers. We'll connect them to the center beams. We'll shove back to our caboose, and yeah, and then we'll head back to Allegheny. I really love how this scene is set up with the farmland here. I don't know, just the whole sort of feel of it is really cool to me. It makes me feel like I'm in a real spot. Even though it's not fully fleshed out, it just feels laid out really, I don't know. It feels like it exists in a real space, and to me. I don't know if that's out of some, like, memory that I have of a place that seemed familiar like this, or what, but I don't know, I just like the configuration of it. The road kind of comes in at an angle, and the tracks are sort of in the middle of this farmland, but also in the middle of the woods. I don't know, everything about it just, it's got a really cool juxtaposition to it. Okay, Moose. The main inspiration for the P&B's paint scheme is actually a photograph from the real thing. And it actually happened to have a locomotive on there that had a similar paint scheme. It may have been Milwaukee Road. It could have been something else. I don't know. I didn't take the picture. I wasn't there. Sorry, I keep hitting the mic. I hate having this. I hate having the mic so close to my face, but it's the only way. It's the only way that sounds really good. You know what I mean? just tough when I'm kind of animated with my hands, so. Oh, is the Olympics wrapping up right now? Oh, I might have to take a peek over on Discord and see what's going on. The blue dress argument of the Discord. It took me a minute to realize what you were talking about, Doc. Yeah, you're right. Is it orange or is it yellow? All right, I check out Pacific Electric shot. Yeah, all right, give me a minute here. As soon as I connect up to this, I'm gonna take a break, and I'll take a look, and then I'll come back. At this point, I don't know if you guys are trolling me or if it is something I should see, but either way, you've piqued my interest. Oh no, we got a tanker truck coming through. Oh, we're coming in real hot here. Oh, hope everybody in the caboose was sitting down. All right, this is a good chance for me to take a break for a moment, so I'm gonna take a break, and we'll come back. We'll take this train back to Allegheny. We'll do some switching in Juniata really quick. I'm gonna take a peek over at the Discord. I'll be back in 2 minutes or so. All right, I am back. Sorry about that, my friends. Pacific Electric, great shot. That was, yeah, definitely weren't trolling me there. Oh no, Jaden's here. Oh boy, party's over. All right, let's get back to this. I got another half hour or so in me. Let's see what we can do. I think, let me catch up on the chat here. It looks like Jaden's been very vocal here. What's happening? All right, I'm caught up. All right, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna just make this an AI train going back. Let's take a look really quick. How do we do this here? Okay, so let's well, let's do this. Let's manually, we'll just drive the train back. At least to the junction, to the main line. And then I'm gonna just let the AI take over and bring it back to, oh god, what's going on here? Let the AI take it back to Allegheny, and then I want to jump over to Juniata, and I want to do a little switching over there, because we have a train that we can break down. So we will do that. I want to drive this at least up to the main line because I want to just see a train pass through this for once. Also, is 2 GP38-2s like enough power for a train like this? It should be, right? What do we have? Like 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 or so cars? Plus a caboose? That's not bad. So my idea is to, you know, we switched out these cars up at this industry, and we've been switching things out on the route. I want it to just stay as is. So I'm going to try to keep this session going. If I need to like begin a new session, so to speak, for whatever reason, like if something goes wrong with the session we've been working on, I'm gonna try to copy and you know, put down the same cars on the new session. So we'll be able to just sort of pick up where we left off pretty seamlessly. Yeah, I really like these wood chip hoppers. They're pretty nice. Does Paint Creek have any grades? I mean, if you look at the bottom of the screen here, yes, they're slight. It's 1% maybe, a little over 1%. Kind of goes up and down. I need to work on this creek a little bit because there's no brush anywhere or like creek bed, you know? Like, I really like how this looks through here. You know, I've got the grass going right up to the edge of the you know, water line, and we've got rocks and trees and shrubs and stuff like that. So definitely need to incorporate that kind of thing in. How's the music? Is that too loud for you guys? Like, it sounds okay in my headset. So like I said, what I want to do is just bring this train down to the main line. We'll stop short of the switch there. And then I'm going to tell the AI to take this train back to Allegheny. And we'll switch over to Junietta. And I want to try to do a little switching in Junietta. And we'll see how that goes. So what happens after the P&B? There is no after the P&B. The P&B is just going to be an ongoing work in progress for forever. But I do have other projects in mind. I'd like to do the New York Cross Harbor in trains, and I'd like to do some other small, like, actual prototypical modules, similar to like the North Carolina Transportation Museum or the Hudson and Western and stuff like that are on my site. So I'd like to do a few more of those projects. I wouldn't mind doing another model railroad, maybe. The problem is that my ambitions totally get way ahead of my ability to, keep up with them. Because I'm doing a lot of stuff lately with my N-scale layout. I've been trying to do shorts videos for that, and I've recently found... I don't know if you guys caught my last short that I did with my water pouring thing. It didn't really do super great on YouTube or Instagram, but it's doing really good on TikTok. So I might just kind of keep posting stuff like that over there and see how that goes. Yeah, I don't know. I have like a million different little projects that I'm working on. As far as it goes with trains, it's whatever sort of piques my interest next. It's definitely going to be New York Cross Harbor coming up. Will probably be the next like small module that I'll work on. But we'll see where we go from there. Will I continue on the Rochester division? Probably not. I kind of like... I would like to continue with the Rochester build, but honestly, that area is so dense that I just don't really think I could do it in this lifetime. So maybe I might jump back into it at some point, but probably not, unfortunately. Yeah. I think it'd be fun to do like a little switching puzzle. Not like the time saver, but like like some kind of an industrial switching thing. Because the thing that I really enjoy building in this game, and I guess in N-scale in general also, or just model-wise altogether, I really, really enjoy really dense, like urban type stuff. Whether it be like a waterfront, or an industrial thing, or city, or something like that. Like, I really enjoy doing that kind of thing. So, any, I guess, prototype that meets that sort of, whatever you would call it, like, that tickles my fancy. That's something that I might want to get into. Oh, yeah, the Portland terminal. That was another one. I had been thinking about jumping back to do the main central, but I don't know if that's going to happen either. All right, let's see. We got to look at our track marks here and see where we're going to tell this guy to go. How do I see track marks on here? Why am I not looking at track marks? Trackside labels, named objects, markers. Okay. Let's see. We'll have this train go to 400. Let's see if I can. I have no idea how to do this, by the way. In 19, how do I tell the AI where to go? We might not be doing this. Okay, here we go. Drive to track mark. We'll say 400 Allegheny East Yard track to west. 400 Allegheny East Yard 400 Allegheny East Yard Track to West. Okay. Will he do it? Is the next question. All right, so this guy's gonna do his thing. I'm gonna turn down the draw distance. Hopefully this time it actually works. And it doesn't seem like it wants to. Let's see, maybe it did. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over to Junietta and we're gonna try to do a little switching over there. If we can, if the frame rate allows it. It's a big question. We'll see. So, all right. Frame rate's okay. All right, so what we have over here in one of the previous, I think the last live stream that I did here where we did some operating, we built a train in Grafton and I sent it over to here via AI. So within this train, we have some freight cars that are bound for Old Town and Vonnie and some other points around here. So I thought maybe what we could do is try to break this train down. I don't know, man. It's 9:20 right now. This is going to take a while. Let me maybe just take half the train. Yeah, I guess what we'll do is we'll go up to here and we'll see if we can just sort that out. Because if we could sort out this train a little bit, then next time we operate, we'll have another local that we could run. And earlier I was talking about interchange with the garbage train or the whatever, the recycling train. These are the interchange tracks right here that train would land on, including probably these ones down here. So any of these tracks down here I pretty much consider part of the interchange tracks. So the garbage train would pretty much come in and go out of here. What are we gonna, let's use, we could probably just use one of these GP9s or 7s or whatever these are. Let's see if this works, because I don't think there's it says the brake is on. There we go. It's kind of bugging out on the cab controls there. $10 from 44 Willies. Awesome. Thank you so much, man. All right, Jaden. Catch you later, man. Stay out of trouble. So we'll see if we can get some angles here so we can see. It's still a little laggy. I honestly think it's something over in the scrapyard that's over here. Use the RS11s. That's actually not a bad idea. Let's do that. Do I have RS11s over here? I don't. So let's just jump into Surveyor really quick. And you know what? This is going to save me some time. We will just spawn them down here. And I have no problem spawning stuff in right now simply because I don't really have a whole lot of equipment on the route at the moment, so. Oh, which version? I have multiple versions in here. which one was the right one. We'll switch them out with the high hoods because that's what would be roaming around the Vonnie branch. That's the chop nose. Let's see, 845493 is the Kuid for that. That's aces. Wait, which one did he give me here? All right, well, we will use... I don't know which ones are the right ones, to be honest. I must not have deleted the beta ones. We'll use one of each, why not? Now, I actually don't know if these are set up to run long hood forward or short hood forward. I guess we're gonna find out in a minute. Short hood, okay. Show us the train bridge? Yeah, I could do that. Give me one sec. Wow. Sorry, the lag is like throwing me all over the place. This was an addition by 44 Willies. He added this extra industrial track here. I believe it's supposed to be out of service. I haven't taken that close of a look at it, but I believe it's out of service. And it runs through the middle of town, unstoppable style. I'll give it a second to render in. Loading all those textures. Yeah, see, it doesn't seem like it's the town that's causing the lag. It's definitely something else. Ooh, tractor trailer. So yeah, that comes off of the siding track here. All right, let's see if we can get a little bit of switching done in the next couple of minutes. Oh, I didn't flip this. Whatever. Both. I thought I was doing back to back, but I guess we're going elephant style here. Yeah, WVR. Yep, definitely. Look for the F. Is that oh, so that's what that means. Does it means front? The F means the front? I've seen that before and I had no idea. That makes so much sense. I'm constantly learning new stuff. So I think, honestly, the bulk of the yard switching here would take place on the far end of this yard. But I'm gonna do it on this side for now just because there's so much lag down there that I don't know if it would really be watchable. So we'll do a little switching on this side and we'll see what we can sort out really quick. Ooh, this lag is killing me here. We're coming in pretty hot. All right, let me just jump back into Surveyor really quick. I just want to flip this engine around. And in fact, I guess we would probably be running with this one here as our lead. So I got to change the road number though, because it should just be 800 and 801. And what I'm going to do is just... Where am I going to disconnect? I said I was going to disconnect right here. Ah, the one that I flipped was the older one. Okay, yeah, I need to go through and get into CM and just, I thought I deleted the beta ones, but I guess not. Yeah, I like having my draw distance on 6,000 at least, so that, you know, I can see some background stuff there. I know I asked this earlier, but I didn't see anything in the comments. Who's going to Amherst next week? I think I saw a couple people, but now that I'm sure there's new viewers. Anybody new who's just joined the stream going to be at the Amherst show in Springfield next weekend? All right, so let's see. We've got, in this consist, we've got cars for Vonnie, and then we should have cars for Old Town. I'm not going to try to block them. I just want to get them separated onto the track. So, excuse me. So these tanker cars, for example, they're going to Old Town, but they would probably be batched up with other tanker cars. I'm not going to bother blocking that. I'm just going to separate them out. I have to figure out where these box cars are going. Probably some of them are going to Vonnie, and some of them are probably just going to stay here. This boxcar keeps showing up in my consist, and it just looks terrible because it's got an awful LOD. Do I plan on making a Canadian route? No. No, I don't. There's nothing. I don't have any interest in foreign routes, although I do like the CN power is pretty cool, but I don't know anything about the prototype. Yeah, Doc, I know that there is a scrapyard on the west end. I haven't really investigated how that is gonna function. So once I get there, I'll include that. Right now, I'm just gonna pretend like it's not there. It's a new industry that I'm not wired to think about at the moment. So essentially what I'm going to do is just use 2 tracks here to separate out the Vonnie cars from Old Town cars, and then I guess there's probably going to be a couple of Allegheny cars. Again, not everything has been worked out exactly with like what industries are where. Like I've got a couple of warehouses here in Juniata. I keep saying Allegheny, I mean Juniata. I can't remember what these are supposed to take or accept or produce. It's going to be box cars of stuff, but I can't remember what it is. So I gotta figure that out. So it's really just going to be a pretty generalized separation here. I know all these scrap cars are going to be going up to, what is it, Reitz? Or is it Horner's? I always get it mixed up in my head. I got to refresh my memory on what is where, but they're going up to the scrapyard in Vonnie, so this is going to be our Vonnie track here. These tank cars are going to go to Old Town, so they will go on the adjacent track here. Yeah, so we'll take a couple of box cars up to Vonnie with us, and kind of leave the rest for Juniata. Am I going to use train orders? I'm not really sure how train orders work, so I don't know. I don't know how this is going to be operated. I know, like, on my N-scale layout, I want to use, like, car cards and waybills and then switch lists. But I don't know how to create, like, an application for switching in virtual like this, because I'm not really sure how to keep track of all of it. So, in terms of train orders, though, I don't know if I'm familiar with it. For me, you know, like when I jump into the P&B, it's just like I kind of have an idea of what cars are supposed to go where, so I just sort of look at that and then separate them out that way. I would like to have some more of an organized purpose to it. Like if there was a way to do car cards and waybills with trains, that would be cool. Like I know CMTM, you know, that was a thing that worked really, really well, and I would love to, you know, be able to use that here, but I don't think that there's a practical application for it at the moment. Oh, okay, I see. That's what train orders are. I'm familiar with that, but I'm not the type of person who's going to sit here and fill out paperwork to do any of that, you know? Like, I like the idea of that, and that's cool and fun, but I'm not the type of person who wants to, like, create a filing cabinet for things like that. If I did, it would be mostly in my head. It would be like, okay, this train is going from, you know, Allegheny to Grafton. I'm just gonna push him up to this siding, and then he'll wait there for this other train to go. But you know, it'll really just be more in my head than anything else. I like the idea of being able to, like, you know, once things really get moving with the P&B and the sessions and stuff like that, to be able to just, like, open it up and be like, oh, what do I want to do? Oh, these cars need to go here. These cars need to go there, you know, and I can kind of hop on a local or, you know, just couple an engine to a train that needs to go to, like, another yard, you know, and just sort of, like, send it on its way. But to just be able to have the ability to, like, hop on for an hour or whatever, you know, switch a couple cars out, or, you know, in between, like, building sessions, you know, just jump on and do a little bit of switching and that kind of thing. You know, it doesn't have to be anything super in-depth. I just like having the flexibility to hop on, but still hop on quickly, but still know, you know, where things are supposed to go. You know, have some general sense of purpose. But I don't, you know, I don't like doing, I know there's a lot of people out there who like playing simulation games and, like, really getting involved with it, you know? And there's people who do, like, train simulator games, or even, like, you know, model HO or N-scale stuff where, you know, they're filling out paperwork and stuff like that. And that's just too much for me. Like, that's like having a job. You know, people get paid to do that sort of thing for a living. And that takes away from the fun, in my opinion. For me, I mean, if other people are doing it, I don't care. You know, have your, do you. But for me, it takes away from it. It makes it feel more like work. And, you know, I'm doing this to, like, get away from work. Yeah, I'm really excited to check out the N3V, what do they call it? Living Railroad or something like that. Like, I want to see, once I get a beta of that, I think I'll do a live stream and we'll check it out together. They did give me a beta of the version with the new terrain, the HD terrain, but I just haven't had the time to install it and look at it. But once I think the Living Railroad, I think they said is going to be in the next update. So once that is available, I definitely want to take a look at that. And I'll do a live stream and we could all look at it together and check it out. Because that does seem, like, genuinely kind of promising. So I'm really interested to see where that goes. To the boxcars. Hey, look at Main Central boxcar. I really like the immersion sound effects, and there were people commenting earlier asking about what it was, so I like it, and I'm gonna try to incorporate it through the rest of the build to the best of my ability. I like it while switching right now. I think it's definitely really brings it in. It'll be interesting to see how this yard functions, like, as it fills up, you know, in time, as we start doing more and more work and getting more cuts of cars and, you know, getting a real session flowing. You know, I really anticipate it being, becoming kind of a thing that you have to keep up with, that, like, there's going to be a point where it's like, all right, you know, this yard is getting full. We've got to definitely send out this train right now to, you know, this local to clear out some space. We've got this, you know, manifest train coming from Allegheny or Grafton or something like that. Like, I'm really looking forward to to that sort of thing. All right, where are we? How many cars we got left here? All right, so let's see. This is our Old Town train. No box cars go to Old Town, so we'll take, I don't know, we'll take these 3 box cars, I guess, and we're gonna send them to Vonnie. Again, none of the exact movements of freight is written in stone yet, so I'm just gonna kind of make it up for now, so we have something to do. The baseball game. I gotta get rid of that. I gotta delete that. It's too much. I like the wheel squeal. Like, it's not, I mean, we're in like a switching operation, so the wheel squeal is, it doesn't bother me. I like it. The baseball game, on the other hand, it does get a little ridiculous because it just doesn't stop. And it's a very short loop, I guess, is the other thing. I guess my only complaint with the wheel squeal is that even after the train stops moving, it's still kind of making noise. But I don't know, I guess that doesn't really bother me too much. Oh, did you get rid of you got rid of the baseball game? I haven't been up there yet, so I don't know what's going on in Vonnie. All right, so we'll take these 3 box cars. We're gonna connect them here. We've got the center beam. It's gonna go there. And then the remainder of these box cars are just gonna go onto another track. Or in fact, you know what? We'll just leave them coupled to the engine and we're gonna just shove down. That's what we'll do. We'll put them on the, I guess maybe this last track here. And then that'll be it. And I've streamed over an hour, well, about an hour longer than I was expecting to, which is fine. This always happens to me. This awesome cup is courtesy of Bespoke Rail. Definitely go check them out. He made this one. I didn't even request this. I bought a an Alco, what is it? Alco locomotive cup from him, and he I guess he's a fan of my channel, and he made this custom for me and surprised me with it. It was very nice. So definitely big shout out to Bespoke Rail. Check them out. They're on, I think it's bespokerail.com. I have a sticker somewhere. Yeah. Let's get this center beam over there. Yeah, the Alco one, I don't know if you could see it. It's on my shelf over here. I really like the Alco one as well. I mean, this one's really nice too. Obviously, I'm not going to complain about a P&B AM branded like Yeti mug. This thing's pretty dope. So, no complaints there. Quality is great. I mean, that thing will keep your drinks ice cold. The trigger name for the wheel squeal, I think it was just called wheel squeal something. I'm not gonna, maybe just before I close out, I'll switch back into Surveyor and I'll look. Actually, I will switch into Surveyor just before I quit out of this, because I'm going to delete this box card that has this terrible LOD. I really want to just delete it from my game altogether, but I'm sure it's part of something, a consist or something somewhere. Ooh, there's some old textures in here. Wow. That dirt texture and that grass texture, I gotta swap those out. Those are old. CM Doc, he pledged $2 to put that Kuwait in there. Very nice. All right, so these last couple of cars, they're gonna get shoved onto this last track here. So we'll switch that. Oh, a Discord link? Oh, the mods are gonna kill me. Yeah, give me 1 minute. As soon as I stop this thing, I'll put a Discord link in there. All right, we're gonna tie these guys down here. All right, so let me put the Discord link in there, and then I'll switch over to Surveyor for a hot minute. Let's see, I always forget how to do this. Invite people, and wait a minute. Let me go to invite people, and why does it say Let's see. Link will be good for 12 hours. No limit. All right, here we go. Have fun, read the rules, all those things. So let me switch into Surveyor really quick. I want to delete this stupid boxcar from my life. What is it called so I don't do this again? R-Box 50-foot ACF. Okay, you're gone. Get out of here. Okay, that's that. Yeah, so you guys were asking about what the... I mean, I know Doc put the CUID in the chat, but for people who might be watching this as playback and are not going to see the chat or are not looking at the chat, this is it. It's trigger, comma, sound, comma, wheel squeal. So that is the thing. You can see where it's been placed. Pretty much at all junctions. And I might, maybe Willie's, I might do every other. Maybe it is a little excessive. I don't know. I'll have to mess with it a little bit and see how it sounds. But I think this is a good spot to leave off for the night. We did a whole lot. Actually, before I even quit out, I mean, we got some nice switching done here, which is great. I'll have to switch out the rest of this train, which is just empty coal hoppers, some tanker cars, and more empty gondolas. So that's not a problem. I want to see if our train made it to Allegheny. It did. It does look like it did. So perfect. So we'll leave this here, you know, unless I do an operating session in between now and then that involves any of this. That'll be there for next time, but you know, I feel pretty good about what we did tonight. We fixed a couple things on the map. We did a little beta testing, a little operating, so it's been a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that, and this is the stuff that I've been looking forward to for years of building this thing. So it's really great to finally be able to jump into the cab and start doing some switching and stuff like that. So it's only going to get better from here, and I'm really looking forward to exploring that with you guys. And I hope to do more live streams like this where we do operating sessions and operating/build sessions and stuff like that together. And is something weird going on over here? No. But yeah, I mean, this has been a lot of fun, and I'm glad you guys came along for the ride. I feel like something's weird here. Maybe that's locked. Whatever, I'll just leave it. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great weekend. That's going to do it for tonight. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Let me move one tree so when I go to save this, it saves a new route and a new session, and everything will be honky-dory and it will be great. If you're just joining Discord, make sure you read the rules and all that kind of stuff and have fun. I hope I see you guys at the Amherst Train Show next weekend. If not, I'll see you guys on Discord and wherever else. Have a good night. Have a nice weekend. I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy.